Some wild temperature swings, not only here in Central Georgia, but around the country. You said in Wyoming, an 80-degree temperature swing from like past several days to today, and we had a pretty significant one here.
Exactly, and I've got a friend who works in Rapid City, South Dakota. Now, the wind chills there got down to like 60, 70 below zero, and they were at 50-something yesterday.
Wow.
That was just crazy. And we had a pretty wild swing today here in Central Georgia. Started off at 23 this morning and then got up to 61 later on this afternoon. Now we're falling back down through the 40s. 49 the current number in Macon, 47 the feels like temperature with that wind out of the east at about 6 miles an hour. And we are not talking about anything on the radar picture. 52 still in Forsyth, 51 in Warner Robins, 46 in Unadilla, 45 over in Lawrence County, and 50 at 24 minutes after 6 in Hancock County. It's cool all across the state. 44 in Blue Ridge, down to 49 now in Athens, hanging on to 53 in Atlanta, and hanging on to 51 in Brunswick. But all these numbers going to continue to cool off through the night. But just look how the midsection of the country has warmed up here over the past day or so. Up to 54 in Kansas City. We are cooler right now in Macon than Kansas City, Springfield, St. Louis, Nashville, Little Rock still sitting at 63. But that's because they have a southerly wind that's going to move into Central Georgia in the coming days. High pressure that was to our west last night, now off to the east, and that's going to allow for a few clouds to work their way in from Alabama through the overnight hours. But notice another weather system beginning to get its act together back out towards Kansas, Nebraska. That's going to work its way towards Central Georgia by the time we get to New Year's Eve. So a few clouds out there tonight. Temperatures, I'm going to put 32 or so as the overnight low. Future View has not handled these low temperatures well at all over the past several days. Then once we get into the day tomorrow, talking about a few clouds out there as well. Partly cloudy skies, maybe 1 or 2 showers very early on Friday as a weak system moves from south to north. But not everybody's going to see rainfall. Those who do, it will not be long lasting. What will be long lasting is the rainfall we'll see by the time we get to New Year's Eve. So here we go, Friday night into New Year's Eve morning at 3 a.m. on into 7 a.m. or 3 a.m. here. Play this forward on to about 7 a.m. Looking at some scattered showers in and around the area. Overcast skies when it's not raining. The National Weather Service advertising a few thunderstorms with it as well. That's what we're seeing on the GFS and on the Euro. But as things stand now, I'm not seeing stuff on the short-range Future View that indicate that. So we're going to watch this here in the days ahead to see how that shapes up. Then once we get to Saturday evening, the last of the rain pulling out of Central Georgia. Only a few showers lingering for midnight here on New Year's. Then on into New Year's Day, we will be dry in Central Georgia. Before we get into the middle part of the week, this is another pretty big weather system developing that will move towards Central Georgia by the time we get to late Tuesday and Wednesday. This has the potential to potentially bring us some strong storms. The Storm Prediction Center already outlining areas from the Louisville, Kentucky area down into Louisiana for severe weather on Tuesday. We'll watch to see how that shapes up on Wednesday. 32 tonight, a few passing clouds. Notice that wind has a slightly southern component to it, which will allow us to be a bit warmer. 66 tomorrow, partly cloudy skies as we get there into the mid-60s. As for New Year's, going with 70 on New Year's Eve, a 90% chance of showers and storms. Then for New Year's Day, a high temperature of 71. The majority of the day will be spent dry, just a small rain chance in the morning as the last of that system works its way out of here before we get into the next system, which again comes midweek. So quite a different 7-day forecast from what we had this time last week. 70 returns on New Year's Eve. Going to be hanging around through at least midweek. 73 on Tuesday. And then by the time we get to Wednesday, an 80% chance of showers and storms with a high of 67.